Hi, this video is another example of adding rational expressions. Remember, whenever we add rational expressions or any kind of fraction, we have to get a common denominator. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at my two denominators. In this first term, I see that I have 25 minus a squared. It looks a lot like what we call Mr. Formula. 5 squared is 25, a squared is a squared, and I have a negative sign in the middle. So that would factor into 5 minus a, 5 plus a. But notice in my second term, I have a minus 5. So in order to make my life easier, I'm going to first factor out a negative sign for my denominator here. And I would end up with a squared, because now my a becomes positive, minus 25, because now my 25 becomes negative. And now remember, whenever we factor out a negative sign here, the easiest thing to do with it is to move it upstairs or to the numerator. So now I can rewrite my numerator as minus 4 plus a, okay? Because when I move the negative sign up here, I have to make sure that I distribute it to every term in the numerator. So my positive 4 becomes negative, and my negative a becomes positive. Now I'm ready to factor my denominator. Since I moved the negative sign up, all that's left in my denominator is a squared minus 25. And now I can factor that into a plus 5, a minus 5, using Mr. Formula. Now, let's think about what our least common multiple would be. Whenever we add and subtract rational expressions, we need a least common multiple. Here I have an a minus 5, here I have an a minus 5. So that is going to be part of my common denominator. And then the only other thing I need is an a plus 5. Notice that my first term is already in terms of my common denominator, so I really don't need to do anything with that. What I need to do now is convert the second term, a plus 1 over a minus 5. I need to get it in terms of my common denominator, which is a minus 5, a plus 5. Since I already have an a minus 5, all I need to do is multiply my denominator by the a plus 5. All right, I already had an a minus 5, so now get it in terms of my common denominator, I'm going to multiply the denominator by a plus 5, and whatever I do in the denominator, I have to do in the numerator. So my numerator becomes a plus 1 times a plus 5. All right. And now I'm ready to add that to my first term. Now I'm going to go ahead and FOIL this out. So instead of writing a plus 1 times a plus 5, I'm going to write the result. A times a is a squared. A times 5 is 5a. 1 times a is 1a, so my second term becomes 6a. And then my last term, 1 times 5 is 5. Okay, and now I have my common denominator of a plus 5, a minus 5. And now I'm ready to actually add these. Remember, when we're adding a rational expression, we do the operation in the numerator and keep the denominator exactly the same. So my denominator is going to be a plus 5, a minus 5. All right, and now I'm ready to add my numerator. I've got an a squared, nothing else in terms of that. So I have an a squared. I have a 6a and a positive a, so that's going to give me 7a. And then I have 5 and a negative 4, so this becomes plus 1. And now that is my final answer. All right. Why? Because I can't really do anything else with the numerator because this numerator does not factor very easily. Okay, so that would be my answer.